Billy Wood's new album Golliwog is absolutely packed with references to MF Doom. Both rappers have one parent that's Caribbean and another parent from Zimbabwe. Both grew up in New York, having a hidden or secret identity. Both rappers also have dense, cryptic lyricism and obscure allusions to pop culture and history. Both rappers also seem to have a similarly disparaging, dismissive attitude towards fame. Even their names are similar, with Doom and Woods being near anagrams for each other, and Doom always being stylized in uppercase, whereas Woods is always stylized in lowercase. Woods' Golliwog really does work as a beautiful tribute to Doom, and I wanted to go through every single reference throughout the track list to MF Doom. Give us a like and a subscribe, and welcome back to Ray Garish. The first thing I want to talk about is the links between the Golliwog and MF Doom's previous venture before coming out as the metal-faced villain with KMD. One of KMD's albums, Black Bastards, features a racist characterization of an African-American person on the album cover. The Golliwog could be a little bit of a nod to that racist characterization. More clearly though, in Golliwog, the theme of time travel is featured heavily. Woods does this using a time machine, a Afro-futurist Akira legend that Woods has mentioned in an interview before. Woods uses his time machine to explore a range of odd, surreal, and horrific situations. The first song, Jump Scare, introduces this time travel concept quite directly. The whole song is a little bit of a time travel caper. In the first verse, Woods starts out in present day in some sort of urban environment. In the second verse, he time travels back to post-colonial Africa. And in the third verse is in the future. The Golliwog is a stand-in for Viktor Vaughn, as both are kind of fictional characters that the rappers are using to explore a strange situation. The Afrofuturist Akira legend is an obvious stand-in for Viktor Vaughn's time machine. If you don't know who Viktor Vaughn is, he is an alias of MF Doom, introduced in Vaudville Villain, and that album is full to the brim with strange, funny situations featuring Viktor Vaughn, who is from the future and time travels back to present-day New York to try and make money. Both rappers have time machines, but whereas Viktor Vaughn's time machine is used to a comedic effect, Woods' time machine is used to some comedic effect, but mostly tragedy, as the Afrofuturist Akira legend is a symbol for Woods' abilities as a rapper and symbolizes his command of the English language, his ability to be dialed in. He describes how he has hotwired the English language in the form of this vehicle. He explores this idea in later tracks, so we'll get to it again, but all you have to know for now is this is a Viktor Vaughn reference. On to the second track, Star 87, which features the line, "Every line of accordion," after saying, "in memoriam." This is a little nod to Doom's song Accordion off of his acclaimed Madvillain album, a enormously influential album that no doubt influenced Wood himself, hence he is citing Doom as a source. There's also loads of thematic similarities between Doom and Woods on this song, with Woods in the song engaging in generally villainous behavior, including cannibalism later in the track, something Doom himself was known to talk about, eat a rapper and spit out the chain, for instance. But then on the back end of Star 87, we also get little vocal snippets that act as allusions to the Viktor Vaughn track Lactose and Lecithin, which is a song off of Vaudeville Villain. We get the lines, "Probably thought the time gizmo was my wallet," and "This thing be buggin' like the Sully frontin'." In Lactose and Lecithin, Viktor Vaughn travels to the future to buy cheap cocaine in order to sell it in modern-day New York. Once again, a fun little Viktor Vaughn reference, while also emphasizing the importance of Doom's influence on Woods. Onto the third track, Misery, which has Woods meeting a vampiric succubus of sorts in the form of a large-breasted woman. The chorus of the song is a reference to the song Gas Straws off of MF Doom's Operation Doomsday. Both explore the rapper's tumultuous relationship with art, obsession, addiction, fame, and those themes are also expanded on in greater depth in the Stephen King novel Misery, which lends a lot of its subject matter to Woods' misery. The phrase re-up on bad dreams, bag up screams in 50s basically means that the rappers refill on nightmares instead of drugs, and then package those nightmares in the form of songs with obscure, strange lyrics, and then sell that as music to their listeners. Onto the 6th song, Counterclockwise, where Woods bends the worlds of the real and the surreal. The opening sample is taken from a low-budget sci-fi film called Primer, which features time travel, of course. The heavy chemistry details in the opening of the track remind me of a lot of Doom's chemistry bars that we can see throughout his career. But more importantly, time travel pops up in the song again, with references to power steering and bending time. The song broadly is kind of a follow-up to the first track, Jump Scare, as that song also has Woods' ancestors appearing in the smoke, whereas here he faces his ancestors despite the fact that they themselves are faceless. The symbols of the fish and the African setting also imply that Woods is bending space and time, much like how he did in the opening track with his time machine. So consider that another Viktor Vaughn reference. Onto the 12th track, Golgotha. Golgotha is an Aramaic word for the place of the skull and is traditionally considered the place where Jesus Christ was crucified. Woods draws from these ideas of death and religion and mysticism in the subject matter of the song. We also get the gorgeous line, "The king sleep in the Doom ship." The Doom ship from the Fantastic Four comics is the vehicle that Viktor Von Doom uses. The king's sleep is a reference to MF Doom's passing, and now he has returned to his Doom ship. We also get the line later where Woods talks about my government, in other words, his government name. Doom has a similar line off of Operation Doomsday's title track where he says, right beneath my government, Doomale. Woods doesn't say what his surname is after he says my government, because unlike Doom, Woods has managed to remain anonymous for his career. We also get a line in Golgotha where Woods talks about being a black Thanos with a 4-finger ring, referring to the Infinity Gauntlet from Marvel Comics. This is very similar to a King Ghidorah lyric talking about a 3-finger ring fever. I don't know if that's maybe a bit of a reach, but I thought I'd include it in the video just for fun. Onto the 13th track, Cold Sweat, where we get the line, I time traveled and still picked Darko Milicic. I don't know much about sports, but the research I did do, it sounds like Darko Milicic was a really bad draft decision made by some or other sports team. Here, Woods is making a joke how, like Viktor Vaughn, he time traveled and then still messed something up. It's the sort of self-deprecating humor that we would expect from MF Doom, and it kind of makes sense that he's paired it with the time travel motif here. Onto the 15th track, Make No Mistake, where we get the line, we flying, but my foot fluttering on the brakes. The whole song, Make No Mistake, is kind of a reflection on failures and regrets from Woods' past, talking about how despite his command of the English language, which is symbolized in the Afrofuturist Akira legend, he still falters. This is reinforced by the reference to crime and punishment later in the verse. On to the final track, Born Alone, which has arguably the most prominent interpolation from MF Doom. Born Alone is a reflection on the cycles of violence and escaping the poverty trap, subject matter that is well trodden for MF Doom. The chorus of Born Alone draws from Phases by King Ghidorah. Born alone, die alone, no matter who your mans is. This sort of reinforces the ideas of the inevitability of violence in low-income neighborhoods and African American communities. But what's also interesting is that Woods has previously referenced this King Ghidorah song on one of Woods' previous songs, Keloid, from 2017's Known Unknowns. Woods' song Keloid also makes a nod to Doom's song Deep Fried Friends. There's more layers to this shit than a lasagna. Throughout Born Alone, Woods also makes reference to shoes and boots and kicks as a motif to represent how wealth is acquired and then lost in these communities. Born Alone is a really tragic song, as Woods kind of thinks back to 1986 when his cousin was shot and wonders if he could time travel back then to give his cousin a pair of shoes. However, there's a little bit of a funny side to the reference here. In my research of the King Ghidorah track Phases, I found this really funny story where Doom talks about where the sample came from. Doom was talking to his producer, and the producer mentioned that the sample comes from a porno. And in the porno, there's this like really skinny guy with two honeys, and he's wearing boots. Now, with how prominently the chorus in Born Alone features that King Ghidorah track, and how prominently shoes are featured as a motif within the song, I feel like that can't be an accident. It's probably just a fun little nod to Doom once again. Onto the bonus tracks, the song Zaire has a reference to quantum leaping, once again a Viktor Vaughn reference. And then the track Time Safari is a devilish time travel adventure featuring Woods and the Golliwog in the Akira legend time traveling together. It's a crazy track featuring Woods and the Golliwog shooting T-Rexes, watching Nosferatu pull up with his boat and infect Europe with the Black Plague, and then has Gaddafi lying in a drainage ditch. This track is really awesome. And I think that is about it. If I missed anything, please head straight to the comments and tell me about it. I had a great time making this video, but I do feel that there is a little bit of a lack of good analytical content on YouTube for hip-hop. So if you want to support that, please do like and subscribe to my channel, support what I'm doing so that I can keep putting these kind of videos out. And please do watch my part 1 analysis of Billy Woods' jump scare, where I break down the different references and allusions that Woods makes throughout that track. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, you are watching Ray Garish. Like and subscribe. Thank you very much. Cheers, everybody.